What's going on, everybody? This is yet another installment of Slick Mixology. You already know who it is by now. 4 episodes in. Today, I'm gonna go a little bit left a little bit and do a Plum and Tarragon old fashioned. Old fashioned, a very, very classic cocktail, probably one of the first to ever be made in the world. Essentially what you usually have is 3 elements. You have your bourbon, bitters, and sugar, maybe a little citrus to kind of give it a little flavor, but for the most part, that's usually how that goes. Today, instead of using regular simple syrup, I actually have here a homemade plum and tarragon syrup. For those of you who don't know what tarragon is, it's basically this nifty little plant right here. Almost when you cook it down, will almost give you kind of like this heavy herbaceous flavor. If you really kind of can pick up on the smell, you probably smelled a little bit of tarragon in things like Fernet, things like chartreuse, things like Jägermeister. So it's a very heavy herbaceous plant. So to make your simple syrup, you have to not necessarily like that flavoring or like that taste, but you just have to use a very small amount to just kind of get a little bit of herbaceous textures from it. I do have a video on my Instagram feed. If you just take a look at my story, you'll see how I kind of put that in there. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. First things first, we're going to start with our non-alcoholic things first. I like to start with the just regular Angostura aromatic bitters, dark bitters there. Some people traditionally will go maybe about 2 to 4 dashes. Myself, I'm a little more heavy-handed with the bitters just because I like high tannins like that. So this is just based off of my taste buds. You can go as generously as you want. I go usually 8 to 10. So I go ahead and do that in my mixing glass. Next off, of course, we do our sweetening agent. So it's basically going to be our plum and tarragon syrup here. So I do have some here already prepped here on the side. Just put a nice little amount. So this is going to be about a ½ ounce of that. And you can already see it has that darker, deeper color. Now, of course, you can use any type of rye or whiskey that you would like. I'm a big fan of Wild Turkey bourbon and Wild Turkey rye, so if you come up on that at any store, it's super affordable. Go ahead and check that out. Clearly, I love it because I've drank the majority of it. But this is what I like to use for my old fashions, any kind of bourbon. By far, my favorite is actually Whistle Pig bourbon. If you have a little bit of extra dollars, I would definitely recommend you invest in that. So I'm gonna go about 2 ounces. My jigger is for at full length is at about 1 ounce. So I'm gonna go ahead and give myself 2 full ounces of bourbon. And you can't forget your ice. Add 1 more there. And you wanna stir this up. My mixing spoon is currently out of commission. Can't seem to find it, so I'm gonna just use something that's long enough to get this thing going. And while that's had time to kind of cool and settle in any type of mixing glass or mixing tin that you might have, go ahead and set that to the side. Load up your glass with as much ice as you could possibly want. Get your strainer, pour over your new ice. And a lot of times people do have the question, especially with this particular one, well, where's your citrus agent? Why aren't you using an orange? Now I do have an orange here, of course, but I kind of want to go in at least less of a traditional route. If you've ever seen any peach syrup type of plum syrup type of recipes of any kind, you'll know that there's actually citrus inside of the syrup. We actually add a bit of fresh lemon juice to that, just a small amount, but that actually does have a citrus element that's kind of already in it. So for garnishment purposes, I stick to the tradition of the lemon and just add a lemon wheel to it. Nothing more, nothing less. That goes in my rocks glass. Of course, you put it over ice, and you can kind of see it has just a really cool plummy flavor, not too far off from a blend between the whiskey, the bitters, and of course your syrup here. Cheers, everyone. And you enjoy your classic cocktail and enjoy your day.